games y'all going to win this fall?
Is the question for a head coach who I think just saw The Wolf of Wall Street like a week ago. You know, Dave Miranda of a lot. I would say that as a principal, if I'm just to be a consultant for coaches out there, if you're going to be referencing a Wolf of Wall Street scene at a press conference, it should really only be the McConaughey improvised beating your chest scene. You know, I don't think there's a lot more scenes that you want to call on right there, but you know, he's a one of a kind coach. Now, the win total for the Baylor Bears this year is set at 7.5, over -105, under -114. We, of course, have that huge game that will be a tone setter for both the Baylor Bears and the Auburn Tigers. Then it doesn't get any easier. You're going to play at SMU before you dive into conference play on the other side of your FCS Samford. So, Bud, how are we starting to pick apart? I mean, Sawyer Robertson, we haven't mentioned his name recently, but we have long been a Sawyer Robertson podcast. They bring back a ton from last year's squad. What's our confidence that they're going to be able to take that step forward that Baylor's really hoping for?
Yeah, I don't have enormous confidence that they're going to take a big step up. We liked Baylor last year once Sawyer started playing pretty well. They probably should have won the Colorado game if the kid doesn't literally slip down there. I just don't know if I see tremendous upside in the win total here. I think this is pegged mostly right. I mean, Auburn at home at SMU. I don't want to do the thing where I just read the schedule, and they do bring back a lot. I don't know if I love some of the roadies here for them, honestly. Like at Arizona, at Cincy, I think Cincinnati would be an improved football team. At TCU, at Oklahoma State. Like, Oklahoma State may swing this thing. Like, if Oklahoma State is good and improved and they clip you early, I mean, they beat Arkansas last year before they fell apart, right? Mm-hmm. Then this is really hard to go over. I'm going to go under like slightly, but this is not one that I want to bet. I think they have it pegged pretty well.
Similar mindset, not quite as confident on this one. I'm on the over in large part because of the Sawyer Robertson impact. Like, you wonder if he would have been starting all season long had they got that. And even when he took over, they had a couple games maybe swing the other way if he's a little bit more comfortable. Also, the defense just has to get better. I mean, Dave Aranda is a defensive-minded coach. The thing that really scares me about this might be one of my favorite schedules because it is tough. They play 11 Power 4 teams, which I love, but it also scares me because not only playing tougher opponents, you don't really have those guaranteed wins, but also from the grind of the schedule, not really getting a breather week where you can play a lot of backups. That concerns me. So I'm on the over, not by a ton, but I like where they stand. I think they take a step in the right direction. The way they finished last season, rattling off those 5 or 6 wins in a row, I like that, but the schedule is probably the one thing that keeps me a little bit cautious.
Yeah. You don't play Texas Tech. I mean, it's so funny. I guess you can't do a easier or harder schedule draw in the Big 12 just because the margins are so thin. You don't have Texas Tech, you don't have Iowa State, but you still do have your Arizona State, you still have your TCU, you still have your Kansas State. Those the end of that schedule makes me a little bit cautious. I think I'm lean under here, but my lean under is also maybe tipping my hand at what I might see from some of those teams on the back half of the schedule. Certainly expecting a big jump forward from Utah, and then maybe that finale. I saw somebody in the tailgate mention earlier that we've got a couple wild cards in the Big 12, and if the Houston Cougars do end up bouncing back, that could be a game, that could be a team that really swings this thing. In addition to, Bud, your call of Oklahoma State.
The other thing that kind of makes me nervous, and you guys are both on the under, so if they start the season 1-3, which they had a slow start last year, but they were able to switch quarterbacks, you just wonder, does that bring back a lot of question marks that were just there about Dave Aranda? Does that potentially lead to a fractured locker room? Guys start going through the motions, and that would concern me. So I think the first month obviously is critical for them, but I'm still going to stay on the over. But that's something to keep an eye out for, that quit factor.
Danny, there's a 2-4 going into the bye week,
right?
Without having to play really, really poorly. You could just catch some bad breaks, and all of a sudden you're sitting there. Your only wins are Samford and Oklahoma State. It's October 11th, and the fan base is getting a little antsy. You got a big road trip coming up to start the second half of the season. I love setting unnecessary urgency on a team. All right, so here we go. If Baylor starts 0-2, the season's over. Okay. That's it. If they can't get off to at least win one of those games, things are going to get really, really dicey by mid-October. But I think that those different possibilities also include, what if they're 5-1? What if they're 5-1 going into the off week? And then all of a sudden you're starting to think about Dave Aranda, who has mentioned to people, I think that this team can repeat the success of that 21 season where they're playing for the Big 12 championship. So a lot of exciting stuff for Baylor. I'm again, my lean here is under, but man, are we all on the lean here? It seems good bet is that Baylor does not show up at the win total locks at the end of the series. Does that sound right?
I would agree.
Yeah.
Pretty spot on number at FanDuel Sportsbook of 7.5.